Good morning. Welcome to the forum, coming to you from Facebook. Today, we're going to have Mike come on up, and he has a meeting to go to, so good morning.
Thank you. Good morning. Good morning, everyone. Start the day off by saying thank you. Thank you all for the job that you do. I appreciate it very greatly. I just want to take just a couple brief moments to talk to you. First of all, talk a little bit about Infinity, because there's been a lot of questions coming in via every different types of source. Just as a reminder, the Infinity training is out there available to you. It is the login. There's a link on Facebook that you can get right to the login. I've also sent out emails. You would have gotten an email from Infinity and also an email from me. Once you get on the link, it is your PeopleNet login username and welcome one as the password, which once you log in, you can change it if you choose to. For the office staff, it is your Windows login and welcome one as the password. I'm encouraging everyone to watch those videos and go through that process. The training is good. I've gotten a lot of positive feedback, and I myself have taken the training, and I'll be the first one to tell you that I bombed the jackknifing one at least once before I figured out there was a trick question in there. But anyway, I appreciate you guys taking the time to go through that. Have fun with it, enjoy it, and we'll have more content coming your way. The last thing is I tried to post something on Facebook last week, and I actually put it in as a comment instead of a share. So I'm still learning that process. Thanks to JD and Teresa, I got it right this morning. So the posting of last week's scorecard finally went out to you guys to show how we're doing from an accident standpoint. As of this morning, we are currently at 162 crashes. That's right, 162 crashes. And I wanted to remind everybody that the largest cause of crash is distracted driving, following too close, and speeding. So please slow down, increase your following distance, and be safe. Have a great day, and thanks for what you do.
Thank you, Mike. You're going to leave and dodge the questions?
I know.
That's okay.
The questions.
We'll get them. All right, so birthdays. We'd like to say happy birthday to James Coates and Shannon Kreitz. They all both have a birthday today. And congratulations, you'll get 5,000 points on Drive for Gold for that. So happy birthday. Let's get my rookie section going back there. All right, if you're wondering what happened on your birthday, the last month of August, Wealth Tax Act passed in the United States. First Mini Cooper goes on sale in Britain for $497. I'll take two, right? And this is interesting, a direct line setup between Moscow and Washington to prevent the possibility of an accidental war was put into place. So, and here's one, I don't know if I should mention this, but Jack the Ripper kills his first victim. So that happened. All right, so that's kind of a few things that happened on your birthday. All right, our anniversary person today is Mr. Paul Marshall. It was 6 years at SPD, so congratulations. Way to go, Paul. 6 years. And you also get points on Drive for Gold for your anniversary, so happy anniversary. All right, last week's trivia question. A wombat is a marsupial. I got that. See, marsupial. Native to which country? If you answered Australia, you are correct. And if you don't know what a marsupial is, they're mammals of an order whose members are born incompletely developed and are typically carried and suckled in the pouch on the mother's belly and are found mainly in Australia. Well-known marsupials include kangaroos, wallabies, koalas, possums, and Tasmanian devils. There you go. Now you know all about marsupials. Yeah, I don't know if you can know enough about marsupials, but there you go. All right, last week's trivia question. Oh, sorry about that. We got to tell you who won that. The one that came up with the answer first was Mr. Jason Smith. Gets 1,000 points. And then Everyone else gets 500. Just to name a couple: Daniel Scott, Scott Turner, Gene Watson, Shannon Kreitz, Paul Cross, Mike Green. All got it within seconds of Mr. Smith. So congratulations, Jason. All right, this week's trivia question is, it's back to business week. An anchor point is defined as A, part of a structure, fitting, or attachment on a vehicle or cargo to which a tie-down is attached. B, a vertical barrier across the front of the deck of the vehicle to prevent forward movement of the cargo. C, the load carrying area of a truck, trailer, or intermodal container. And D, a rail along the side of a vehicle that protects the side of the vehicle from impacts. So if you get that correct, you get 1,000 points if you answer it first. So good luck with that. Also, I want to mention that we put out some information on the NFL Sunday Ticket. So if you're an avid football fan, that's going to start on September 9th. And the channels that you can watch this on are from 7:01 to 7:12 on your dial on your TV set there. All right. I will mention that the NFL Sunday Ticket does not include the preseason games at all. So it just starts on September 9th. So there you go. We posted that on Facebook as well for your information. Okay. And we had a question from one of our drivers about the newsletter, and that was Michael Mann. What we're doing with the newsletter, well, his question was why don't we post it every month? And that's because we're trying to do a different format with that according to our media department. So we'd like to ask people to help us with content for the newsletters. It would be great if we can get participation from terminals as well for content. So if you have any ideas, shoot them off to Susan, and we'll get that newsletter going again.
Also, if you'd like to write a commentary, you can write a little piece, an article, and submit it. We'd be more than happy to review them and put them in.
Yeah,
So pictures, anything you guys want to think would be cool.
Yep.
This is your newsletter, so make it yours.
So if you want something specific, let Susan know, and we'll see if we can get that in there for you. Okay? So thank you, Michael, for that question. All right, I'll save our hack for later. Next up is Travis. Yeah, it's your turn. Okay. All right. Good morning.
Good morning. Didn't really have a whole lot for this week, but did want to take a minute to, talk about OD in Washington. So for a while, we were kicked off of the Washington website, or suspended from the Washington website, and self-issuing permits because we had another permit confiscated for a driver that was not following his permit. That is the second time. So now we have been told by the state of Washington, we have served our 15-day suspension, and we are now being told that on any third offense, if it happens again, we will be suspended for 30 days from self-issuing permits, and if we have a fourth offense, we'll be locked out for a year. Guys, self-issuing permits is a big deal. It enables us to get our permits quickly. With our business and the changes that happen all the time, we are constantly having to update permits or reissue permits, and without having the ability to do it on a self-issue, we're going to be sitting. And so please pay attention to your permits. This is 2 states now, Oregon and Washington, that we've had issues where drivers weren't following their permits. And please, if it says you need pilot cars, please make sure you have your pilot cars. This particular incident happened going up to Hamilton from Cedro-Woolley, and the guy had a pilot car in the back but didn't have the one in the front that was needed. So please make sure you're reading your permits. You are the captain of that ship, and it's your responsibility to make sure that you are obeying all the provisions on that permit sheet. So please make sure we're doing that. That will help us tremendously and enables us to keep people moving. Jim Dean, you got a question?
Yes. My question is, if there's new drivers that's out here doing these OD loads, okay, some of them might not know, so is it, I know it's their responsibility to read the permits, all of them, okay, to make sure they're configured about it, familiar with it, I mean. But is it also for the permit department to remind the driver if he needs an escort, if he needs flaggers or whatever he needs? Is it their responsibility to let them drivers know also?
With new drivers that are going through the OD, working their way up in OD, yes, we are going over the permits with them. I know that in this particular case, the driver was reminded about his pilot cars and didn't read his permit. He had the one for the back, but didn't have the one for the front.
That's what I was talking about.
And we're constantly going over permits with drivers, especially if they're newer drivers that the permit specialists are not familiar with. They will go through those permits with them and make sure that they understand what the provisions are or restrictions are.
That's great.
Should be.
Good.
The one thing I wanted to talk a little bit about today, because we've seen a lot of activity going on around safety. And the reason for that is quite honestly, we've been seeing an increased number of near misses or small incidents. If you take the safety triangle and you can go out there and look, the safety triangle is out there. It's a theory that has been proven time after time after time. But for every 300 near misses, there are 30 crashes. Okay, so the triangle goes 300 at the bottom, 30 crashes in the middle that are minor, right? That 30 crashes, for every 30 crashes that you have, you end up with one major. Well, that's what we're trying to avoid. That's what we're trying to address. Whether it be through our camera system and doing some coaching with Joe Dilley. We're working with Joe. We're working to try and make sure that we're not coming across as heavy-handed. That's not what the intent here is. The intent here, whether it be the cameras and the coaching that's going on with the cameras or the safety training that we're doing online, it's to bring awareness and reduce that 300 so that we reduce the possibility of having that major crash. It's going to happen. We put down a lot of miles in this company, and those things are going to happen. But as Mike was saying, a lot of the things that we're seeing as far as causes of these crashes have to do with speed, lack of attention, or just distracted driving, and that's something that we can control. We can do something about it, and so we have to. This company's continuing to grow, and as we continue to grow and bring new people into our culture, we have seen some effects on our safety ratings, right? And the reason this company has a lot of the things that we do, whether it's the contracts or what have you, the customer base that we have, it's because historically we have always been very safe. We have always had a good CSA score. I'm not saying that we don't have a good CSA score now, because we do. But we have to, as we bring new people on board, we have to understand that it's a big deal. That's the reason why we have what we have. Our drivers and safe professional drivers that are out there are the reason we have the contracts that we have, and that we can do the things that we're doing, whether it's the salary program or what have you. If one of those big accidents like that can just devastate you financially, and we need to address it and continue to work on just reminders and training. We're not trying to be heavy-handed. We're trying to coach, and maybe we could alter our approach, which we are in the process of doing. But the fact is, it's something that has to be addressed, and it's not just new people coming on board. It's older drivers that have been around here getting complacent. It's across the board. So that is why there's a push going on right now. Is we can see it coming. You can see all the inspections. You can see the 162 accidents that we've had this year. The money that we've spent on claims this year. It all is pointing to, we're right on the edge of potentially having a major issue, and we just, with the role that we've been on, we can't have that happen. We need to be on it. So I just wanted to take a moment. I guess, I know Joe Dilley, who joined us here as a safety consultant to assist with the smart drive cameras and the events that we're getting coming in on the smart drive cameras. Joe's focus is to coach and to be talking to drivers. So please, he's not calling you to chew you out. He's calling to find out, hey, what happened here? Why did this happen? We can see, that 10-second clip, but we don't know what happened before or after. And so he's calling to try and raise your awareness. Hey, these things are happening. You're getting hit on, your camera's picking these things up, whether it's speeding at 90 miles an hour going downhill, or it's an illegal lane changer. You drifted across your lane. We have to address those things, or we have to coach to them, right? Because all it's going to take is one of those things happening, and we got a major crash on our hands, and it takes a lot of time and effort, as well as financially, it hits us pretty hard. So, guys, the warning shots are there. The warnings are there for us, and that's why there's a big push going on right now for safety.
And it's not just
Sean.
that. It's not just that, Travis. We also look at it from your guys' standpoint.
Absolutely, we want everybody to go home.
Yeah, and the thing is, if you've been in a major accident, you're gonna have a hard time finding a decent job.
It
We've had
affects-
a couple people that we have gone overboard trying to help them get positions at other places because of a major on their thing. If you have two, you're not gonna work for a decent company. So this is there to protect you, not just the company.
The major accident, it's not just a major that's a life-changing event, right? It changes the life of the person that was involved in the accident, as well as the driver, our driver that was involved in the accident, whether it was their fault or not. It's a life-changing event, and potentially can, affect you for quite some time. Like Sean says, it goes on your DAC. It's a DOT reportable. That way everybody sees it. So let's work together to try and address this. And you know what? When we've worked together to work on things, whether it's the 48 hours and TransFlow or speeding, we saw a big reduction. There for a while, we were getting a lot of speeding violations, but we haven't seen a whole lot of those lately. That's all good stuff. And when we work together, we can address these issues, and we make this a better place, and you guys end up going home as you were when you came to work. And we want you to be home with your family. We don't want you to be involved in one of these life-changing events. So again, there's going to be a little bit of focus on this, and because we see all the warning shots or the warnings, and it's something that we just have to get out in front of.
Might I throw out there too, have a discussion with Joe when he calls.
Yeah,
He's not there, it's not one-sided. Have a two-way discussion about that and whatever you want to discuss.
as Wally was just stating, discuss it with Joe. He's there to kind of talk you through, okay, what can we do differently? Or maybe there wasn't anything we could do differently. But we've got to, again, it goes back to working together. Please, be open. None of us are perfect. We all have our flaws, myself included, all of us do. And sometimes just a little reminder is enough to refocus or get your attention put back of where it needs to be. When we're behind that wheel of that truck, it's a missile going down the road, and we it's dangerous out there, right? And we just gotta to be safe.
Real quick
Question.
question.
Yes.
On your dash cam, say if you're pulling oversized, okay, and I know whenever you hit the rumble strip, it'll set off that camera. Now, if you got a 14 wide, you have to get over on that shoulder, it's gonna show that you're riding the shoulder, because I do it all the time. I pull oversized, I try to stay so far to the left, because oncoming cars, you might have another oversized coming to you.
Right.
But that camera sets it off, so if it gives that 10-second clip, and you're not, and Joe sees it, and then he calls Tom or Jerry and say, hey, what went on right here? Well, well, is he gonna look and say, well, is it an oversized one, or is it a regular?
He's looking at a lot of things. I mean, he should be looking to see what load you were carrying. I mean, he's got the ability to, but that goes back to the discussion and having that discussion, and many of those clips we don't even get, okay? It may be setting that camera off, but when it sets that camera off, those videos at that point go directly to SmartDrive. And unless it is something that we have defined as a safety issue that we would like to be aware of, if it doesn't fit that criteria, we never even see it.
Oh, really?
No. They only send the videos to us for review that they believe really hit, are a safety issue. Okay, and we've defined to them what issues we want to know about and the other ones that we don't, because we could, you're right. Something like that scenario, we could have a 2,000-mile trip full of video, because it just continues to set it off. So we defined what it is that we're looking for, or what it is we want them to send to us, and that's all that they do. Sean, do we have any other further questions?
No, just Carl Fleming says that 162 accidents is completely unacceptable.
Well, I do want to, thanks Carl, I do want to qualify that a little bit. It's not necessarily accidents, that's incidents. So that includes bumping a sign or anything that's been reported, a trailer that goes into a ditch, anything that's been reported is going to be part of that 162. In years past, I don't know how those things have been recorded. I do know that as soon as Mike came on board with the new director of safety, everything that happens is being recorded now. And so it's not necessarily comparing apples to apples. I will say, financially, from where we were last year to where we are today, yes, we have spent a significant amount more in damage claims than we had last year. And that's again, there's those warning signs. That's why we're doing what we're doing. So, any other questions, Sean? Again, guys, thank you. We'll work through this safety training thing. I know I saw a bunch of comments about logging in and getting into the safety training with Infinity. We'll work through that. We'll get everybody logged in, or get everybody in there. And I believe, it's difficult for us to get training done because everybody's spread out so far. And this is, we have looked for a platform to try and do this. We're able to make our own videos and put it in the same Infinity platform, so they're tailored more to us. And those will be coming here soon. But we have to have that training in place. It's a requirement by OSHA. It's something that we have to be doing ongoing, and it's always a good reminder. We all get a little lazy or complacent, and those little reminders are good. So again, guys, thank you for what you're doing. Having a fantastic month. Let's finish this thing off strong. We got a holiday weekend coming up this weekend. A lot of people going to be out on the roads, so please be careful. Be extra vigilant in watching things that are going on, and be safe. And if you're at home, enjoy some time with your family. It's been a long summer. It's been a long summer, but it's been a very productive and very successful summer for us, and very pleased with the progress that we've made and the performance of our fleets as a whole. We've been doing a great job. Let's keep it up, and these new drivers that we have out there, let's help them get accompanied or get into the SPD way. All right? Thanks again.
All right, thank you, Travis.
Hold on just a second.
Oh,
So go
what's the matter?
a little closer. Come in, so that one, bring it in.
Trying to show just how spread out SPD is. Each one of those green flags represents one of our trucks. So that's a map of the United States for those that haven't taken the test. Each one of those green flags right there represents an SPD truck. That's how spread out we are. That's how difficult it is to communicate. So, yeah, all right, cool. Okay.
All right. Well, thank you, Wally. Appreciate that. Okay, so one more thing on the NFL Sunday Ticket. If you're wondering what the schedule is, you can go type in your browser NFL Sunday Ticket Schedule 2018. It'll take you to the complete Sunday schedule for DirecTV. Or when you see me, I can print it out for you if you want. But it's very lengthy, so we can't post it. What we might do is post the link on Facebook to where you can get the schedule, so you can look at it, okay? Also, Tom Schmidt wanted me to mention air tanks. How often do you folks drain your air tanks? Jim, how often do you do that? Twice a week? Okay, that's
Getting
probably,
that time of year, guys.
yeah, that's pretty good.
Freezing up. You
The
gotta-
reason I'm bringing this up, and Tom wants me to mention it, is because I guess we had a truck that the air tanks were half full of water. And that, we all know what happens then. You tend to have no brakes when you're going down the road, right? Kind of screws things up.
Actually had winter weather warnings Tuesday in Wyoming. I couldn't believe it, there was snow.
Oh, is that right? Already?
It's coming.
Wow. All right, so at least twice a week, please drain your air tanks. Make sure that that's up to snuff, and we don't want you to have no brakes out there. So
Or frozen tanks.
or frozen tanks, especially. So be aware of that.
Good thing, one other good thing, do not set your trailer brakes in the winter time when you're under a load after you drive it for the day.
Wait
Yeah.
a while.
Huh?
Wait a while.
Let 'em dry out.
Yeah, let your trailer brakes dry out, because we've all been there. We've set them in the wintertime and they're frozen. You try to go somewhere and they're locked up, right? So we're back there with a hammer or a torch or something to try to free them up. Yeah, so be wary of that as well. So you may have known that, or you may not have, but there you go. All right, so with that, if there's nothing else from anyone, we're going to do our life hack. And our life hack, if you're a connoisseur and you like to cook, and especially in your truck, and one of my favorites is BLTs, right? So one of the things you do is you toast one side of the bread, and then the inside is soft, right? Well, if you have a toaster, or even a toaster oven, just take your two slices of bread, put them together. That way it toasts on both sides of the individual slices, and everything in the middle is still soft. So there's your tip for how to cook a BLT in your truck.
I thought you were gonna go with the grilled cheese sandwich in your toaster.
No, this is how you toast the bread. All right, so that concludes our forum for today. So as always, we'd like you all to be safe out there, help one another, be kind to one another, and we'll see you next week. Have a great day.